Thanks for joining us at Torrens University Open Day and welcome to Adelaide Oval. My name is Regina Concepcion and I am the President of Student Representative Council for Torrens University students here in Adelaide. I am joined today by our very own Mark Falvo, Vice President International of Torrens University, and to talk us about why is Torrens University is so popular with international students. How are you, Mark?
I'm very well, thank you, Regina. That's the easiest question probably of the day. So, I mean, look at the background. So
Yes.
I can't possibly complain. A beautiful sunny day in Adelaide, Australia.
Why we're here at Adelaide Oval?
Wow, look at the view. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a good question. We are the education partner for the Adelaide Oval. So one of our main courses of focus is sports and sports management. We do that from diploma level with our Simon Black Academy. We also do that at postgrad with our arrangement with the Real Madrid Graduate School of Management. And so we're really strong in that sports management space. And Adelaide Oval is indicative of those sorts of partnerships that we have. There are so many, I can't mention them all.
Yeah.
But we're able to use the facilities here. The Blue Mountains Hotel Management students also work here. So again, one of our big, not selling points, but one of our big unique points is the sort of industry placements that you get as one of our students, international or local. And it's possible for people to be able to work and experience this type of environment. And for us, work integrated learning and placements is an absolute key part to all of our courses. So students who are interested in sports management, hotel management, are able to be immersed in this type of environment, because in the end, studying in a very traditional, and COVID has accelerated this, but studying in a very traditional lecture room with hundreds and hundreds of students, we never did that anyway. But this is a classroom. And again, it's a good example. We're here by coincidence, but it's a good example of the type of places that you will end up having the possibility to study in.
Wow, that really sounds fantastic, Mark. Yeah, really looking forward to that.
You're very welcome. Might go over there and kick some goals a bit later.
Could you tell us about the student population of Torrens University? I've heard it is a very well-diverse mix.
Very true. So we have approximately 20,000 students in Torrens University, and we'll have more this year. And just over half of those are international students. And we're very proud of that. Not just having international students, but being global is one of our core values. That's as much for our domestic or Australian students as it is for our international students. Those students come from 118, 119 different countries. It changes a little bit in each trimester. And around 2,000 of those are not located in Australia or New Zealand or China, where we also have campuses, but are studying in 58 countries overseas online, particularly as the borders are closed. So I'd be confident in saying that's the most diverse mix of any provider, certainly a university in Australia. We're incredibly proud of that diversity.
Also, there has been a lot said and written about the problems that COVID has caused to international students here in Australia. So my question is, what Torrens University has done to support its international students?
Torrens University has offered over the past 12 months over $30 million of scholarships and bursaries to our international students. Some of those are different depending on the states, and some of those are in parallel to some of the state programs that are available to our students. And that's a reflection of our commitment to our students, to that idea that we keep our students learning as we go. I think that flexibility around the study options has been, even in lockdown, that our students have been able to mix that study with work where they possibly could find that. And I'd like to believe, and I'm confident that we have still been able to maintain our fantastic retention rates, and that students have been able to make themselves available for those extra services that we offer to get them through those tough times. I mean, I won't make light of the stories that people hear, and our international students are having a difficult experience, as with all the international students that are in Australia. Many of those that went home for Christmas got stranded. And so I think, again, to reiterate, they could continue studying. Those that are overseas obviously want to come back. Some people have been separated from families, and it's a really challenging time. And I'm comfortable with and really happy with what we've been able to do for our students in as much as we can. But the circumstances around that are obviously very challenging. We also delivered food packages and things like this to our students, and there might be some of them small tokens, but I think also showing that we empathise and that we are there for them, not just for the study, but also the outside circumstances.
Finally, how confident are you that Australia will once again be the destination of choice for international students once border restrictions are eased?
Very confident. Look, some students will always want to. You chose to come to Australia for a particular reason, and some students will always want to go to Canada or the UK or Ireland or the USA, and that's something that it's a big decision. Which country will I go to? And many students decide to go to a country not just to study, but perhaps to go and stay and live and work afterwards and bring their family. It's a huge decision, and it doesn't just flip. Even though we've gone through a crazy year like no other, if your heart is set on coming to Australia, you'll wait. You might not wait forever. And one of the advantages of an Australian education is that at the moment you can start online. And as I said, thousands of our students have. Starting online, we have a good online experience, and they can wait for the borders to open. I can't predict when that will be. Obviously, I hope it's sometime this year. And that can go towards any sort of post-study work entitlements that you have afterwards. We are seeing students deciding that maybe Canada is an option. The weather's a bit too cold there for me. But I think in the end, the lifestyle that you are able to enjoy, as in Australia, we're one of the world's most multicultural countries, a huge multicultural success story. It's relatively easy to find work depending on what you would like to do. The remuneration that students get and their ability to come and perhaps stay afterwards, as I mentioned. I still think Australia is the best option for that. We were looking at being number 2 in terms of a study destination for a country of 25 million. Is impressive. I think it'll come back. I think it will take a couple of years to do that. But in the meantime, the students who are able to start, and as I said, either start with us in country onshore, or perhaps in a growing percentage of those will start offshore. When your mind is set on the type of lifestyle that you can have here, the safety, the way that we've handled COVID, I think really has to be regarded as second to none. I think when it comes back, it will spring back or bounce back. Even more so than it was beforehand, but it might take a couple of years.
Thanks for joining us today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Lucy, back to you in Sydney.